I hope you can see my
Yes, madam.
abstract writing workshop. FETSAC 2006. Okay. Okay, so today's content, what we are going to cover today is, first of all, let's see, we will have what is an abstract, abstract versus a full paper, and why write an abstract. Then also, who will use an abstract? So we need to understand who will use an abstract and how to start writing an abstract. Then essential C's of writing an abstract, and also what not to write, which is very important, right? So what not to write, I will be emphasizing a lot on this, what not to write and what to include. Then some examples, and also for FETSAC 2026, the details that are needed for you all to write the abstract. Okay. Students, yeah, just give me 1 minute. Okay. Yeah. Right. That's fine. Thank you. So what is an abstract? So an abstract is actually a summary. A summary of what? A summary of a research project or research study. Right? So now an abstract, the important thing of abstract, it should be written clearly and briefly. Right? So there are lots of important things that we need to know when writing an abstract. So that's why I thought first we'll see what is an abstract. Now, a well-prepared abstract enables the readers to do what? To identify the basic content of the research quickly and accurately. Now, those two things are very important, quickly and accurately. To determine that means the research relevance to their interest or purpose, and then to decide whether they want to listen or whether they want to read the full paper. Now, you all have, I guess, most of you all who are here today with us are students who have completed your research or who will be completing the research soon, right? Your final research project or a research, any other research you are like about to complete or you have already completed. Now, the thing is, when we write something for a presentation, student symposium, or for a journal, considering the research that we have carried out, we need to think what we are going to write. Now, we are here at FETSAC 2026. You are expected to write an abstract. So that's why today we are concentrating on an abstract. So I will again highlight on these few things that I mentioned just now. That is, an abstract is a summary, right? A summary of a research project or a research study. Now, research project or a research study is what you have already completed or about to complete. Then you have to write it clearly and briefly. So actually everything that is given here will be actually discussed in detail, right? Now, you may be wondering, what is a research paper and an abstract? So there is a difference. Yes, there is a difference between what an abstract is and what a full paper is. So what I'm going to actually okay, students, can you all hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, could you please tell me from where you didn't you stopped hearing me? Did you get this where I have put what is an abstract? Did you hear what I was explaining here?
Yes, ma'am. From the abstract
Did you
versus
hear what I was explaining here about what is an abstract? Can you please ask them whether they heard this?
Can you hear us now? ළමයි කතා කරන්න. Can you hear us?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
ඇහෙනවද අපිව?
Yes,
yes,
madam.
madam, we can hear you.
හරි ප්‍රශ්න ඔයගලන්ට ඩිස්කස් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඩොක්ටර් එකත් එක්ක කතා කරන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝ chat box එකට වඩා preferred කරන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ answer කරන්න. හොඳද questions වලට? හරි.
So could you please tell me, did you hear what I was explaining here about what is an abstract? Did you hear that?
Yes,
Yes,
madam.
madam.
Yes. Right. Then, did you hear what I explained, the difference between the abstract and the full paper? I showed you all a paper. Did you hear that?
No,
No,
madam.
madam.
No, madam, no.
Okay. So let's have a look at the paper. Okay. Right. Now students, can you all hear me now?
Yes, madam.
Can you
Yes,
all
ma'am.
hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. Right, so you can see a disposable cup in smart flow for trajectory recognition and human interactive sensing is the research paper that I have shared with you all here at this screen, right? So now this research paper is published in a very good journal called Applied Energy, and the publishers as well. So you can see in blue color, right? Yeah, so this is the title, right? This is the title. Okay. So in this research paper, to see this research paper is actually having 11 pages, right? You can see 11 pages. Then the thing is, the abstract is only this much. Now why only a small number of sentences are considered for an abstract? Because as I mentioned, an abstract is something that we write to clearly give the idea about our research or our research project or our research study. So it's written clearly and briefly. So you can see 11 pages right over here, but then only few sentences, maybe like 250 to 350 words will be given, should be written for an abstract. Okay. So now we know the difference for when we just have a look at paper, we can identify what the abstract is. Obviously, in a research paper, you usually name the abstract. Right. Now, here I mentioned that abstract is a summary of a research project. But don't get confused with summary of the research paper or the conclusion. That is not the abstract. Conclusion is different from the abstract, right? So that's what we are learning today, how to write this well-prepared abstract, which will allow our readers to identify the basic content quickly and accurately, right? Okay. Now, why write an abstract? Simply, we want the readers to make decisions about our research project or research study. Decisions. As I mentioned earlier, I think Sophia mentioned that you didn't hear what I said earlier, so I'll repeat it. Now, this research, the research that you carry out, who is interested in knowing about your research project? Who is interested in reading your research work? Obviously, your supervisors, won't they? They are very interested because they are actually guiding you to conduct this research properly. Other than that, maybe the evaluators, right? Evaluators who will be, or examiners, this research, for the research project. But we are not trying, we can't limit our research to this research project, no. It doesn't have to be the research project that you are doing here, over here at the university final year research project. It doesn't have to be that, right? This knowledge on this, how to write an abstract, you can use it for any other research as well. So the research, writing an abstract, right? After you write an abstract, who will be interested in reading your research? Similar researchers, right? Researchers who are interested in, who are interested in the work that you have already carried out. They might also want to do the same research or similar research, or they want to maybe continue from where you stop, or maybe they want to do something similar, right? So the abstract allows readers to make decisions about your research project. Yeah, so as you can see here, now when we start doing research, right? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a research student always to read a research paper. Maybe you're interested in some area and you can read research paper. So there are lots of research out there. So are we going to read all the research? No. The research papers, imagine the paper that I showed you earlier had 11 pages. So like that, are we going to read the whole paper and finally figure out we are not so interested in that research? No. You just need the main ideas, right? Just need the main ideas. Obviously, your examiners, supervisors may want more than that, right? But that's a different case. Now here we are thinking about people who would like to read your research. So they will just, maybe first of all, they want to know the main ideas. So who will use an abstract? Now, you know, right? Student conference of our faculty. So like that, any conference or conference organizer will use the abstract to take a decision on what to decide whether your research project fits the conference criteria. Now, students, the FETSAC is actually an opportunity for you all because it's allow all the students who are registered with our faculty to publish abstract papers. But there are some conferences that have like for specialized areas. Like let's say for energy, conference on energy, a conference on AI, a conference on, let's say, textile engineering, right? So different themes. Then a conference organizer will not be reading your whole research paper and take a decision. You just use the abstract, read the abstract, and quickly decide whether the project fits the conference criteria. And also the conference audience. Who will be the conference audience? The faculty members, the administrators, peers, yeah, your peers, your friends, the ones who studied with you, right? Presenters, other presenters. Sometimes now FETSAC is only for FETSAC participants. Actually, the authors will be only Open University students, but there can be other conferences where the presenters from different universities will come. So all these conference audience actually will use your abstract to decide whether or not to attend this presentation, right? Whether if it is not of interest to them, obviously they will not attend, right? You also like that now. If you are interested in something, you will first quickly have a look. Okay, what is there for me to get it from this presentation? If I have anything to get from this presentation, I'll attend. Or otherwise, I'll go to another presentation through this. So now I have taken these details from this website. You also can visit this web page and get more details. Now, this is something that you need to listen carefully. How to start. Now, as I told you, you may be in a position where you have already completed your research project. Maybe you're just about to complete a research project, right? So you have covered most of your research already, and now you are ready to write a paper. Maybe in this case, just an abstract, right? Now, do you have a complete project? Did you conduct a research? Right? Did you conduct a research? Or you just got the stuff and then was able to figure out something just without much research, right? Or did you identify a research gap? Now, I guess almost all of y'all who are here today have completed the whatever the letters that come in front of like DMX or EY, EX, whatever the 3 letters come, but 6180 codes, right? Or 6180, right? For all the students, those codes are 6180. Yeah, research methodology and project identification. Right. So in that course, you all have learned about how to conduct the research, how to identify the research gap, right? So you ask yourself these questions. Did you conduct a research? Did you identify a gap? And how did you solve it? Do you know how you solved it? And what are the methods you use to solve this problem? The research problem. What are your results? Have you got results from your research? And also, very importantly, are the research significant? Significant, right? Then, is this research project matters? Is there any significance in the results? And can we use this research for an important to maybe to sometimes maybe to get a new, like in a way, an idea in a way. So maybe if we can materialize this, is it possible to do it, right? So why this research project matters? So you need to answer all these questions. If you know the answers for all these questions, writing the abstract would be very simple, right? So because you need to know these things, right? If you know the answers for these things, abstract writing is very simple. Because abstract is only, as I told you, just maybe 250 to 350 words. Well, let's see. When writing an abstract, we need to keep this 4 in our head, right? We need to remember this. That is, we need to write a complete abstract. You can't write abstracts which are like halfway giving questions to the audience, right? We can't leave questions to the audience. That's the most important thing. That means you need to complete the abstract. We are not asking the audience or our readers to guess answers, right? So we need to complete, we have to write a complete abstract. Concise. You know what the meaning of concise? Concise, in like, we are going to use very small number of words by using that, let's say 300 words. We have to explain the concept properly. It's very hard, I know. So I like to write. Personally, I'm sharing my personal experience. I like to write a lot. And when I write, I like keep on writing. Then I forget, if I can't be writing like that for everything. Abstracts, you can't write like that. Poems, you can't write like that. Novels, research papers, you can, but an abstract should be a concise, very concise, right? And that means not writing halfway, not writing a paragraph and then let the reader guess things. We can't do it, right? And it should be very clear and cohesive, right? So everything must be covered here. That is very important. So we'll go through all these things when we during today's workshop. As I told you, the most important, I can talk about this for hours and hours. What not to write? Why? How many times we ask our students If we ask our students not to do anything, that is the exact thing that they will do, right? Why is that? I don't know. But you have to remember now when writing abstract, there are things that you should not write, right? So remember, abbreviations, like let's say IoT, AGV. Not everybody, you may think why this IoT, AGVs are very popular now for mechatronics students, computer engineering students. Students in this engineering faculty will recognize these words quickly. But we are not writing abstracts only for them. Right? We are writing an abstract. Anyone can create. Obviously, you should know. You should be able, like, maybe not thoroughly understand, but should be able to get an idea. And abstract, because of that, do not expect to have abbreviations. So what was simply footnotes, no footnotes, right? So I'll show you examples here. Some you know how to put references. Yeah. Obviously, when you are writing research paper, you should have references. In text
Yes, ma'am.
reference links must be clearly given in the research paper, but not in the abstract.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes. The references are not allowed. That means what you should put to your abstract is you should write in your own words. Right? And your are not just what you really think, but what you think and what the conclusions or maybe whatever that you're going to put into this research abstract should come from the research that you have already done. Mathematical equations, very important. Mathematical equations, maybe tend to put mathematical equations, mathematical equations in an abstract you want to be. The title, you're not going to put the title there. This is a mistake that most of the students make. The title is repeated. No, the names, no, citations. So these things you don't write in an abstract. See my screen, where
I think we have a technical issue here with I'm doing the presentation here, the CRC with the smart board, but I'm not quite sure whether it's a success.
We can hear you, madam.
Right. Okay, let's continue. So what to include in an abstract? A single paragraph. Yes. Now in an abstract, it's a single paragraph. Now, how many words? It depends on maybe the journal you want to publish, maybe the conference you want to submit, right? Now at FETSAC, I think the number of words is 300, isn't it? With the guidelines that you have got, it's 300 words, isn't it? So it depends on 350. Okay. So this year, for the abstract, you have to write 350 words with correct grammar and unambiguous terminology. That means, as I mentioned earlier also, you can't let the reader guess things. You can't let the reader guess things, right? So you are not going to keep any space for the reader to guess. You're giving everything in a concise manner, right? So highlight what is novel in your work. Obviously, everyone will be so much interested in knowing about how novel is your work. And anyway, in this field, right, I'm especially talking considering our research fields, because this is anyway in the STEM field. Also, if you narrow it down, so we are in engineering, industrial studies. So in these areas, whatever the research we do is quite different from research that is done in the other areas of studies like humanities and social sciences and arts, right? So in this research areas, especially in an abstract, we expect a lot of novelty, right? And also be self-content, right? I think I mentioned this earlier also. Be self-content. That means when you read the abstract, the reader can get the full picture, right? So how to give a full picture in 350 words? It's hard. Even mathematical to the abstract. Now, so we are actually talking now what to include in an abstract now. So the important thing is, first of all, a single paragraph, right? 350 words, correct grammar, and unambiguous terminology. We are not using any words, sentences that has many meanings. Okay, right. So the purpose of the project identifying the area of study to which it belongs. Now, in abstract, it's very important. The area of study to which it belongs. The research problem. Now, when you write the research methodology and project identification course also, we always tell you, you need to understand the research problem properly. Now, in your research, already completed the project, or you're about able to inform your readers yet. Then the method, documents or evidence, and the conclusions reached. Okay, so you mentioned about the research problem that motivates the project, the methods used to address the research problem, documents, evidences, and the conclusion. This is very important. The conclusions. I told you, we are not allowing the readers to take conclusions on behalf of us. We are going to write the conclusion, right? The conclusions reached. Or if the research is in progress, as I told you, some of you all may have by now not completed the research and got the results and then finalized everything. Maybe your research is still there can be some preliminary results of the investigation. that you have already carried out, or maybe some of the it by now. So you can write addressing those subject is involved, right? We'll see. Students, can you all hear me?
Yes, madam.
Okay, right. I think my connection got lost, right? Okay, so finally, now what to include in an abstract? The significance of the research project. I was talking about this, the significance. That means, why are the results useful? Right? Now that's important. What is new to our understanding as the results of your inquiry? Now, that is important. We may, now some of the research, we may already have a good idea, but then sometimes the research that you already conducted may be an extension of some other's work or ongoing research. Right? Then what is new to understanding as the result of your inquiry? So that's what should be included in your abstract. Now I have actually extracted this information from the web link that I have given here. I hope you can see my screen well, students.
Yes, madam.
Okay, right. Now, let's have a look at this table. I believe this will give you a little bit of idea on suggested content. That means what to include, right? Now, suggested content. So if you ask these questions, right, you also can ask these questions yourself and think, okay, that's what you actually need to put it to your abstract. First thing, what do we know? What do we know about the topic? Why is the topic important? Now, if you ask that question or give answers to these questions, then in your abstract, you can complete this section. Brief background, introduction, or research context. That is the part that you can cover in the abstract if you give the correct answer for this question. What do we know about the topic? Then why is the topic important? Right. Then let's go to the second question. What is the study or the research about? That means in the abstract, we can present it like this. Present the research question or the purpose. The research question, the research problem, that is what you are going to write. So that is, if you answer the question, what is the study or what is the research about? You give the answer, then you actually have identified the present research question or the purpose. How was the study? How was this research? How was this project done? Meaning, what are the methods you used? What are the materials you used? What are the subjects that were considered for your research? What are the materials? And what experiments did you really carry out in this research? So give answers to these questions. How was the study? How was my research conducted? Then you will get the answers that you can include in abstract. What was discovered? The most important thing. What was discovered? Don't you think? Do you think this is important? Obviously. But you need to, so sometimes, as I told you, the research, you don't have to always complete the whole research and then give the result. No, it's not like that. But Did you discover anything? What are the results? What are our findings? Now, you're not going to put the results in a table here because this is just an abstract. But you can write it. I'll show you how to write the abstract, the results in an abstract. You can use 1 or 2 sentences for that. Okay. The results. What does it mean? What does it mean by the results? If you can write 1 or 2 sentences for this question, that means you have covered the abstract content, that is the discussion, the conclusion, implications, right? So I actually recommend you all to go through this again, right? Students, am I audible to you all? Okay, right. So let's move to the next session. Next slide, sorry. Right. As I told you, the biggest problem with most of our students, maybe even when we start writing, right? Actually, how to start? How to start writing? We want to write an abstract, but how to start writing? Because you know, the abstract is only, but still, it's hard to write an abstract. But the important thing is how to start writing the abstract. So the first thing is start with what you know.
බලන්න ඩොක්ටර් කුෂ්මාව ඇහෙන්නේ නැද්ද දැන්?
No, madam.
ඇහෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ චුට්ටක් ඉන්න.
Okay, so now we have to always start with what we know. That means with the known information. Now you're not going to write like you have come from a different space, right? So you just can't be quickly jumping to your research. That's wrong, right? So you always have to start with a known information. Then you can think about mentioning about the aim of your research, right? And then with a problem or an uncertainty. You can start with an uncertainty, right? So that is very important when you are starting writing the background or the introduction of the abstract. So, I mean, we are not talking about paragraphs and paragraphs here. We're talking about the first two sentences. Because, in an abstract, you can't write only about 10 sentences, right? So, the first two sentences is very crucial because we are giving this idea to others, asking others, okay, read me. So, if we are asking others to read what I have written here, right? Appreciate what I have done, then your first two sentences should be very attractive, right? So, but we can't write things that we like, as I mentioned earlier also, we don't want our reader to guess anything. So we start with the known information, then with the aim of the research, then with a problem or an uncertainty. Let's take an example. Now, this is the example I showed you earlier. So when I wanted to talk about, show you all about the difference between an abstract and the full paper, right? This research paper, as mentioned, taken from a journal, Applied Energy, elsewhere. This was published only 2024. Now, here, let's have a look at how this abstract started, right? And this is an abstract. Only this part, right? This abstract. So let's go and have a look at the first two sentences. Smart flow is an indispensable component of future smart buildings. It is urgent to develop a low-cost, self-powered and high-reliability smart flow. See, in this abstract, it's like it shows the urgency. Why do we really need a smart flow? So, but for that, it gives this introduction. Smart flow is an indispensable component of future smart buildings. So it's connected to what we know, smart buildings, right? Smart buildings, it gives these connections to the smart buildings. So then tells us that it is important to develop a low-cost, self-powered, high-reliability smart flow. Then it says, herein we propose a disposal cups inspired self-powered smart flow for trajectory recognition and human interactive sensing. So it's connected with what we know as smart buildings. So when you write your abstract too, you need to think about this. You can always connect with the known information or with the aim of the research with a problem or an uncertainty. Let's move to another research paper. I got this research paper from a journal named Journal of Food Engineering. This research paper also was published in elsewhere, the publishers elsewhere, and then published in January 2024. Right. The title is Online Volume Measurement of Sweet Potatoes by LiDAR-based machine vision system. Right. Now, let's quickly think about before we go in depth, discuss about the abstract components. I want you all to give a few hints about writing the title. Now, some of the students find it very hard to understand what is the title, right? Now, this is, you should understand clearly that your abstract is, you can't, now for your abstract title cannot be the same as your proposal title, right? Then if that is happening, that means you have not written the proposal properly. Because in an abstract, you have already completed your research. And you know that you conducted experiments on what, considering what, right? So that's why if you have already, maybe, as I told you, maybe not 100% completed, but at least you're about to complete your research now. So because of that, it's easy to write the abstract. And when you're writing an abstract, how should you consider this? Actually, it's like this. You have built, now imagine you have built a product and you want customers to buy it. Then what are you going to do? You are going to say all good things about your product. You won't say the bad things about your product. But research is different, no? Research is different. We are not saying in our abstract or research paper, our research is good, our research is good, our research is good. We are not saying like that, right? We are not giving only like the accuracy of the machine learning project is 100%. Then this is the best research, this is the best solution. You don't write like that in our research, because research is where you allow space others to research, where we are saying, okay, this is this like this, a research was done, and these are the drawbacks. These are the advantages of carrying out the research like this. So then when you're writing the title, what should come? You can write your title like this. You should market your this abstract or your research paper. Yes, I agree with that. You do a work and then you should actually have this, how do I say, a satisfaction that others are happy with this. So for that, we need to write a title which will make others read. So that's why I'm saying it should be like, okay, it's good to write the good things in the title, like this. Here we are saying clearly, we are saying, or in this research paper, this was not done by me, right? Some authors I have listed here, right? So they have mentioned here online volume measurement very clearly. What they are doing, online volume measurement of what? Of sweet potatoes. Online volume measurement of sweet potatoes, right? Okay. Now, why they have not stopped the title there? See, that is, if we stop there, we are allowing the readers, or we have left some space for the readers to guess. Okay, how did they measure the volume? We have let the readers guess things. Now, the important thing is I write a research paper or an abstract, we are not allowed we can also write like without the database, we can say machine vision system. Now that will be when you don't know what was the technique to use in that machine vision system. But students, now when you're writing your abstract, you've already completed or halfway done your research, so you know what are the techniques you have used. So you can mention here, because there are many machine vision systems that you can use for online volume measurement. But here we are very specific, right? That volume measurement of sweet potatoes, here in this case, what is the technique? LiDAR based. Right. Now, you all can write your title, abstract title. Can you all write your abstract title now and put it to the chat? Write your abstract title now. You know for what you did the research, what technique was used, and specifically what method was used. Okay, shall I give you 5 minutes, students? Write your abstract and put it to the chat. So then, if you write, I can help you to see whether your title is good enough to be published. Your title, abstract title, I can't check all your abstracts, but I can check the title. Right, 5 minutes. I hope you can put, don't type your project proposal title here, okay? That should be different from the abstract. Okay.
Okay, so now I think this is really good opportunity for you. So please actively engage with this session. So please write your abstract title and you can type it in your chat box, right? Dr. Ushma will comment it. Or you can talk with us directly, no matter. There is 5 minutes you can active with us.
Okay, Madhushan. So now you have put optimal site selection for high power EV charging stations in Sri Lanka, a techno-economic framework to minimize grid impact and maximize viability. Okay, so optimal site selection for high power EV charging stations in Sri Lanka, a techno-economic framework. Okay, I guess you may have already written your abstract, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Hardware-based security framework for generic IoT device authentication using PUF. Better if you can expand PUF, right?
Sure, madam.
Okay, and with your research, you have mentioned here hardware-based security framework for generic IoT device authentication using PUF. So expand what PUF is. Okay,
Yeah,
and
okay, madam.
also,
Yeah, that's yeah.
yeah, rather than saying hardware-based. So I guess what is your field at? Is it you're an electronic engineer student or computer
Uh,
engineering student?
Electronics, madam.
Electronics, yeah.
Yeah.
So rather than saying hardware based, would it be possible for you to expand that a little bit or give a more clear idea? That would be better.
Okay, madam. Yeah, I will work on that.
Yeah, you can think on it. You can discuss with your supervisor,
Yeah.
but the security framework for generic IoT device authentication, that part is very good, right? So
Okay.
just don't put it as yeah,
PUF.
you can, because for FETSAC you can make it as like expand what's PUF means. Yeah,
Okay.
more titles. I would like to see your title students. There are around 20 students here, and I believe you all are here to present our abstract, right? So please write. Okay, students. So now there is another one here given. Intelligent heated bed sheet with heat element matrix such signboard to minimum power consumption. Okay, you can change this the title a little bit, Tamila. So you can intelligent heated bed sheet. Okay, with heat element matrix, but I don't understand what you mean by such signboard. To minimize the power consumption.
Madam, LED signboard, such the LED matrix. That's the LED
LED sign.
matrix.
Okay. Okay. So change this. What do you mean by such signboard? That you can change, right? Then culturally inspired, sustainable, casual resort where for female tourists visit Sri Lanka by integrating Maru developments. Give me one. Okay, students, so who this Bandara? You have mentioned culturally inspired, sustainable,
Yes, ma'am.
casual resort where for female tourists visit Sri Lanka. Integrated. Culturally inspired, sustainable.
I have right two.
Yeah, the first one is not sounding well for me. Non-seasonal cultural resort where for female tourists. Female tourists, right?
Okay.
Not female tourists visit Sri Lanka. That doesn't sound well, right? And also there is a grammatic over there, I guess. So I know what you want to say, but I don't think it's a good idea to write for female tourists visit Sri Lanka. Better say for female tourists, all right? For
Okay.
female tourists, a sustainable design approach inspired by Maru Raksha Devil Mask. Yeah, that part is okay, right?
Alright. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Vijay Tunga. You're a Vijaytunga, you're a textile engineering student or textile industrial studies? Sorry,
Fashion design student.
fashion design student.
Fashion design student.
Okay.
Industrial design.
Okay. What I understand from your title first is it's too long, right? And it doesn't, we don't want them to think. Now, I'm not a fashion designer. I don't have any idea about fashion, right? So when I read this one, it's like, for me now, it's like confusing, right? So it's not, so that is what you don't want to happen, right? So you want whatever the title that is put here, I should be able to understand. And that means others also should be able to understand, right? So this is too much information. We don't want to give too much information. Can't you see how sweet that sweet potato title is, right? Online volume measurement of sweet potatoes by a LiDAR-based machine system. Why can't you make it short and sweet, Vijay? So it's like migrant-free travel for women. Okay, fine. A comfort and health conscious traveling enhanced with freedom. With those things, no need. Those things you can explain in your research, right?
Okay, ma'am.
So again, you're saying
Okay.
for better traveling wellness. So why do you have to say again and again this same thing? No? If you say a comfort and health conscious, that's it. Comfort and
Okay.
health conscious. Comfort and health conscious. I am not quite sure the terms to be used here because in different subject areas there are these words that would be much better to use. So you can discuss with your supervisor, but I can say that don't write this whole thing. So you can say comfort and health conscious where garment for travelers, something like that. So that is, you don't have to say enhance with freedom, with functionality for better traveling wellness. Those things are not necessary. Then it's like, anyway, that's what I feel. Actually, Dr. Dilini is also here with us today. So, Dr. Dilini, you can give a comment on it because
My
my
idea is you don't have to say all these things in your title. Just the important concept.
concept. So,
That's the
Dr. Dilini, you can comment on it.
Yes, thank you.
Am I correct?
Yes, Rukshima. I think as the Dr. Rukshima says, the topic should have been more interesting and better to clear identification. That means clear idea to give the readers. So I think you can revise the topic. That means you are going to develop travel wear collection. You can start with designing or product development, designing and product development, travel wear collection or something like that. But you can start with some simple way and not with so long. You don't want to give every and each 5 points in your topic. You can take more important things and make it simple and clear.
Okay, Vijay.
Okay,
Okay,
Vijay Tunga.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
So there are like don't make your title. Okay, to tell you the truth, don't write everything that you know about your project. Right? Don't write everything that you know about it in your abstract. Don't write everything that you know about your project in your title. Make it simple. Again, I have taken one of the, as I told you, very short and sweet title for you to read there. No, you can see online volume measurement. Very clear. What are we doing? See, the message should go like this. What are we doing? On what? In this case, on sweet potatoes. By what? What is the technique? A machine vision system. Be specific, LiDAR-based. Very clear. Okay. So, Jatan, you should actually cut and and chop lot of things. I guess the first one, what Madhushan mentioned, is good, right? If I'm not comparing in order to give you all marks or anything. So just to say that the way that Madhushan has approached the writing of the abstract title is good. I don't know the other things like that. Even ends one, okay. So like as I mentioned, this one is also fine, right? You just take out things. Bandara, yours is also okay. Vijayatunga, you cut and chop. Don't write everything that make it short and sweet. Life is also
Okay,
when things are simple, it's easy. Yeah? Let's
okay, madam.
make it
Thank
like that. Okay, right. Okay, thank you for the students who actually shared your research topics here. You don't have to, nobody have to worry because nobody is going to actually steal your idea. Now everybody has already completed your projects, right? So you can put it here, discuss here freely, right? And thank you so much for the ones who shared your titles here. So I believe from where can I give I think you all can give a virtual upload for these students. Vijayatunga, thank you so much, Vijayatunga. Bandara, thank you so much. Amila, thank you. And Madhushan, thank you for sharing your titles. This is how a workshop should move. Right, let's move to the next slide of mine. Right, I am giving you I'm showing you an abstract, the abstract that is written by the authors of this paper, Online Volume Measurement of Sweet Potatoes by LiDAR-based Machine Vision System. Let's have a look at the abstract. I think I should name the authors because I should give the credit to them for writing such a good abstract, maybe with some flow, some issues, so that I can use it to compare it with. This is we are using for educational purposes only. This is a very good journal, very good paper written by Janjun Lu, Yuzen Lu, Ebenezer Oleni, and Lauren Harvey. I hope I pronounced properly. If not, pardon me. Right, abstract. Now, look at the way they have written. First of all, I hope you can remember what I said, what to include in the abstract. See, what do we know about the topic? Or why the topic is important? What is this study? How was the study done? How was the research carried out? What was discovered? That means results. And the conclusion. So these are the only things that you need to have in abstract, right? And it says a single paragraph, right? Okay, let's look at this. Volume is an important phenotype and shape descriptor of sweet potato storage routes for post-harvest quality assessment and breeding programs. Now, students, not everybody who were here, who have joined with us, are knows a lot about agriculture, right? But when we talk about this title, when you look at the title, it says very clearly that it's something to do with sweet potatoes, right? But then, now we need to know why, first of all, why this online volume measurement is needed and all those things. So we need to set the background. Actually, what is put it in yellow color is, now look at this abstract. Some things are marked in yellow, ash, then I don't know the colors. Don't take me on if because my background is computer engineering, mechatronics. I'm teaching for mechatronics students, so not for fashion design students. So I don't know the names of these colors properly, right? So pardon me if I name them differently. But as I see, they are like yellow, ash, magenta, blue. Cyan, Dr. Dini says it's cyan and green, right? Okay. Now, can you see yellow? Like almost not half, but 1/3 is colored highlighted in yellow. You know what this yellow part, why I have highlighted in yellow? This sets the stage. In an abstract or in a research paper, or even when you are doing a talk, right? When you are giving a speech, the most important thing is getting the attention of the readers, getting the attention of the audience, right? This first impression, right? Even now, imagine, can you remember those days when you went to school, when you were schooling, when you get a new teacher, what is your first impression on the teacher? The first day, how the teacher explains, right? So you may sometimes, I still can remember the way that some of my teachers taught me the first day they came, because it was so good. They did it so well. So that means setting the stage is very important. Setting the stage is very important. Setting the stage, that means we are giving the impression, the first impression, that is very important. Then when the first impression is very good, readers think, we should read the next section, right? So that we should actually set the stage so nicely that they will end up reading our full paper. That is our purpose. Now, obviously for FETSAC, we are just writing the abstract only, but obviously, whatever the abstract that you put to the FETSAC, you can write a full research paper, right? If you have enough content. Right? Let's talk about it later. Let's have a look at this, what I have highlighted in yellow. That is the introduction. So volume is an important phenotype and shape descriptor of sweet potato. Storage routes for post-harvest quality assessment and breeding programs. See, students, now even in this title, it doesn't talk about this breeding programs and all those things. Post-harvest, nothing is mentioned here. That's what I told you. You don't have to mention everything that you know about your project in your title, right? But give the important information, right? Okay, so then it says the standard water displacement method for measuring food volume is laborious, subject to human observation errors, and often destructive. See how nicely they have written the second sentence. It says, now there is a very common method. You all know, right? You all are industrial studies. You all are going to complete your degree in industrial studies or engineering. So we all know that if we want to measure a volume of a fruit, very easy method is there. We can use the standard water displacement method. Am I clear to you, students? It's a very easy method. But there can be lots of errors in this method. And it's also laborious. Imagine measuring each and every fruit or vegetable using this water displacement method. There can be lots of errors now here. Lots of water will be just split everywhere, right? And then there can be lots of, it's often destructive. So can you see, students, the second sentence gives us the common solution and says why the common solution is not good in one sentence. If you also can write your project. Now, sometimes your project, your research, maybe there can be various other methods that others are actually, maybe there are other methods already, but there can be issues. So write it, but don't use 4 to 5 sentences to write it. Use 2 or 3 sentences. You can say what is already available, what the problems, right? Look at the third sentence. 3-dimensional imaging-based machine vision provides an alternative for rapid and non-destructive volume estimation. Yes, so it very smoothly moves to the machine vision systems. So it says there are machine vision systems. Okay. So then what is the problem? Now it says the labor-intensive method was discussed. That is the standard water displacement method. And then it says, okay, because there are lots of issues with the standard water displacement method, machine vision systems are available. Now, however, this is the word to use. Is it the only word to use? No. Remember that. This is not the only word to use. There are nice words out there. So are we going to write but? No buts. No buts, huh? No buts. Why is that? We are writing academically. We are not writing a letter to our friend. Right? Not writing love letters to our, no, we are not anyway writing love letters, this. No? Not chatting with our friends. Right? Why? Buts. We know buts. We have to write academic words. We have to use words that are specifically identified for academic writing. Okay, students? So actually there's this academic writing list of academic writings that you can find. So those are commonly, you need to use these academic, especially words that are dedicated, that you can actually use for academic writing, like words like however, like that. Okay. Then, however, existing machine vision based methods usually require manually positioning samples or sensors to acquire different views of samples. And hence, that means therefore, not suited for online high throughput applications. See, in one sentence, everything is given in a nice, or you can actually break this into 2 sentences and write. But however, you should make sure the reader wants to know, so what is the problem with these machine vision systems? Obviously, now, if you started your project in the correct way, that means you had the idea not to build this robot, not to introduce this new concept just because you wanted it, but because you had a problem, there was a research problem, seriously, then writing this is very easy because you know the flow, right? I hope you can understand the flow now, right? So we started the first sentence with the background. So you're saying why volume is important for sweet potato storage rules, right? And in which application? So the background is set within just quickly in one sentence. It gives us the idea of what we are going to read in this abstract. It's about sweet potatoes volume, right? Okay. Then we talk about, because we are not directly saying, now imagine if nothing was written, the second and the third sentence was not written, and you quickly write if the second sentence and the third sentence was not written like this manner, and if the last sentence was there, like without however, existing machine vision based methods usually require manually positioning or something like that. Then it's utter disaster. Why? You have quickly jumped into your problem. You're not thinking about how to smoothly come to the problem. Smoothly, because we have to set the stage nicely. We are saying there is a standard method, but there are problems. So there are other solutions. However, with those solutions also there are difficulties. So we are thinking about this new method. So we are not saying that in the yellow color you can see how the stage is set. Students, as I told you, the first impression is very important, right? Like that, in an abstract, this first 3-4 sentences will give the reader the clear idea whether to continue reading this abstract or not. So write it nicely. I mean, actually, when you're writing an abstract, you should live in that in your research, right? So you should like allocate some time, and you should read your whatever you have done with your research first. So like sort of allocate some time carefully and write this abstract, because then you will be living in that research, in that world. Then you can nicely write these sentences. Okay, right. Then next, this study presents a novel machine vision system that combines a custom-designed roller convey system to simultaneously transport and rotate sweet potatoes for full surface imaging, and a consumer-grade LiDAR camera to acquire color and depth images. Right. Now, we know what do we know about the topic, or why is the topic important. By now, you all know the reason, right? Why the topic is important? The ones who got the ideas, can you put a thumbs up and let me know that you got the idea? Why this topic is important? Nobody got it. Only one
Yes.
person understood why the topic is important. 2. I'm surprised. So that means you didn't understand what I was explaining all this time. Okay. Right. So then, what is the study about? Right? Or the present research question, or the purpose of the research. See, this authors of this research paper has clearly mentioned, you can see in ash color, the purpose. The study presents a novel. They have used the word novel also, right? See, they have somehow got that word also. Novel machine vision system that combines a customer-designed roller convey system to simultaneously transport rotate sweet potatoes for full surface imaging, and a consumer-grade LiDAR camera to acquire color and depth images. Right? Okay. Now, if the students now you may be thinking, oh, my subject area was not electronics or mechatronics, so I don't think I get this one. No, it can't be. For any student, anybody will be able to understand this. They have written in such a way that what they have written, anybody can understand. You don't have to know the techniques, right? You don't have to know how an LiDAR works. But it says they are using a LiDAR, right? Now, when you are using a smartphone, you don't know how, not everybody knows how that communication is done here, right? So it's like that same way, right? But if you can, when you read this abstract, if you can understand what they say, I'm quite sure you will be able to write your abstract properly, right? So, but you have to give, some. Now in magenta color, what it says, Switch potato storage routes of Virgut were imaged online by the system with 6 consecutive scans, 10 for each sample. Regression models were built for volume estimation using MLR, multiple linear regression, SNN, shallow neural network, and DNN, deep neural network, based on geometric features extracted from segmented fruit masks and the alpha shape reconstructed from depth images. Now, what is this? Can someone tell me what is put in magenta? Now, I'm talking the good things of this abstract first, right? Later, we can talk about their maybe mistakes. Okay. So can you tell me what is put in magenta color? Any guess? What is it? If anyone can switch
Data,
on your mic and talk, I would really appreciate.
the data collection part.
Sorry? In magenta color, what is written? Is it data analysis, Madhushan? It is not.
Brief explanation
Finding.
of the project.
That's what you think, Bandar. But if I say it's not, what is the correct word to use here? Huh? Just a single word that you can use for this.
Methodology.
Very good, Amila. Methodology. Isn't it? It says how they did it. The methodology. Sweet potato storage routes of Burgard were imaged online by the system with 6 consecutive scans obtained for each sample. So they're saying how they did it. Regression models were built for volume estimation using this method, that method, based on what? Based on geometric features extracted from this, then that. What is it? It's methodology. Give the methodology of your research after you introduce the research problem like this. See, we talked, what do we know about the topic? What is the research or the question and methods? See, how was the project done using, we call it, now, the thing is, now we all are final year students, most of you are, right? And so you should use the correct terms. Like you can say the methods used, the materials used, the subjects that were used for research materials and the experiments, right? So how was the research done? So the methodology is nicely I mean, not everything you can't obviously write in 2 sentence or 3 sentence that you did in like maybe 8 months, right? In your research. So the methodology. Then comes a feed-forward 4 hidden layer DNN achieve the best accuracy of 97.9%. Inside brackets, some other details given, compared with the accuracies of 94.2 and 96.2 obtained by MLR and SNN respectively. What's this then? What is it?
The results.
Results. Yes. Results are given like in just in 2-3 lines. Maybe actually in this case they have used only 1 sentence to write. You can use 2 sentences, right? Or 3 sentences. However, much emphasis is not given, just they are noting down, right? And then finally in green color it says, the developed 3D machine vision system is useful for online rapid volume measurement of sweet potatoes and can be potentially applied to other fruits. What is that? The conclusion. Conclusion of this research. The significance. What is the significance? This developed 3D machine vision system is useful for, now we are coming for the significance, for online. Right? That means you don't take one sweet potato at a time and measure it. Right? Online. Rapid volume measurement. Rapid, quickly measure the volume of sweet potatoes. And it says some future, for future, it can be potentially applied to other fruits as well. Nice. What do you think about this abstract, students? Is it clear to you all? Okay. Not clear?
Clear, madam.
Right. So, Amila, now I know that you are a mechatronics student, right? Mechatronics or mechanical. Right? Let's ask this question. Sorry, Amila.
Madam,
You are a
I'm
mechatronics student, right?
mechatronics. Oh.
Yeah, okay. So let's ask this question from a different background. A student coming from a different background where they don't work with the DNNs, lidar sensors, cameras, and maybe they are using, but I don't know because I have not taught them. Let's take a student from agriculture or textile, fashion design, product, right? Apparel technology. Vijay Tunga or anyone, I don't know how the other students, because can someone from a different background, right, tell me, did you all get this about this abstract? Or is it like Greek to you all if you don't know Greek?
Can industry study student can answer for this? Anybody can explain how much you understand this one? Agriculture, fashion, textile, apparel. Please discuss. ළමයි මේ කතා කරන්න ඕන ඔයගොල්ලෝ.
Okay, so
Hello, madam.
it shows if a marketing can
I understood what
need
they
to,
said, but not
just
the
just
numbers
name.
they have put and the method they have mentioned, light detection and ranging, somewhat that
No, it was added to a
specific terms. Other things can understand.
Right.
I understand the results and finding part. I have doubt about how to put that in our area, in our subject category. Other parts are okay. But result
Okay.
and findings, that is something confusing.
Okay. So yeah, I think what
Example.
you're saying is in your subject area, you can't present your results like this. Okay.
Something different. We are doing
So
some
did you conduct?
experiment, but
Yeah, I know that. Maybe you didn't do an experiment, but now let's say, did you conduct a research like from what you have done, right? If you were able to get a questionnaire and get users' feedback, right? Those things you can present as results, isn't it? So there are, I mean, you need to present your results, something or other you have to write down. After you're doing a research, there should be like some results should come. What is the purpose of doing a research? There is somehow there are some results. Maybe not like this, but in a different way, right? So that results, you should as a researcher, now you can discuss with your supervisor and see what type of what is the method that you can use to present your results, right? Okay. Did you understand? You have to talk with your supervisor and see, especially if you can't understand how to present your results. Because I mean, if you're not presenting your results, that's a big problem. But now imagine a situation where you have not completed the project and you have not got all the results, then under your research section, still you need to give something. You need to let the audience or the reader know that you have done some part of the research. I believe, I mean, in any field, right? Whatever the field you do, research, there should be some results, right? Coming up. So now, what I can suggest for you is, I think this is what all the researchers usually do, right? Now, you may have done a research and now you may have read lot of research papers related to this or similar research. You know, when you conduct the literature review, you may have done a literature review to identify the research gaps. Just read and see how they have presented the results, right? How they have presented the results. I mean, when you are reading a research paper, we usually advise for students especially to read good research papers, right? That means research that are published in good journals or conferences. So if they are peer-reviewed research papers, then you can read them and then get the idea, and then you can accommodate, I mean, according to your research, you can change it. Isn't it, Dr. Dilli? Because we have Dr. Dilli today. Now, the question is coming from a fashion design student, I guess.
Yes, I think so. That means their BI students maybe they are getting that not have the exact numbers in that results. That's why they're asking. But however, through your discussion and research analysis, you can come up with good conclusion. I mean, how you want to end your project. So what your findings, that mean in each and every research, there should be some newness. Finally, you find something, you develop something innovative things at the end, right? So you have to write that research and final things related to that things. So you can discuss with the supervisor and get good feedback for this one.
Yeah, so your findings always should not, doesn't have to be in numbers, right? It can be a conclusion coming from a different background. So that's okay. That even you can put in, right? Maybe not quantity-wise you have. Maybe qualitatively you can talk about it, right? So that obviously you will understand how to present this one if you read research papers which are similar to your subject area. But if now imagine you came up with a new concept, now you took it to the market or then to other potential buyers, and then you get their feedback. So then again, you have done some research, and maybe you can provide that if you have done a quantitative research or qualitative one, that those results also you can present here. So obviously, when you are doing a research, you have to do a little bit of this you have to understand about how to present research, how to write. So for that, actually they say you can't teach how to do research, right? But you can give guidance. Here, what I'm doing right now is saying, like, I'm showing you all good points and bad points in an abstract, how to do, what to do. But then you can't teach how to do a research. Now, for an example, now all the students who are here are from Open University. Now, to tell you the truth, students, now I have had many research, students who are in the final year project, but not everybody are the same. Not the way, because I can't write for my student. You all should write, right? No, your people you should write. So for that, what do you have to do? You need to write. You can't write directly now. You need to read. Is it 5 papers? No. In the research methodology, we always ask the students to read a lot of papers, right? So when you're doing your research, you need to beforehand read a lot of research papers and get ideas on how to write. So in order to, like, let's say, now you are going to write it for this is a conference. So there you need some, yes, polish, some help, right? That's what we are giving. But you need to read papers and understand in your subject area, especially, how to present, right? And also, like, this is what I'm saying, very important. Imagine in a computer engineering, right? Computer engineering, philosophy, engineering. When you're presenting your results, right? If you are using very old methods, right? Then I think it's not of interest to anyone. Imagine you're working with deep learning, right? I'm just giving a small example from my field. These days, I'm working with, say, AI, deep learning, that area. Now, in that one, if you are going to present your results, like compare the classification accuracy with just SVM and then ANN and say, okay, ANN is better than SVM, that's not enough, because those techniques are very old now, right? The readers, the audience is expecting more. So you need to be updated about the current research areas. Okay, right, let's move on. Right, so actually we have come to almost to the end of this workshop. I hope that you understood what are the important things that you have to mention, right? So now imagine you have already written your abstract, like what they did, right? And also, I forgot to ask you a question before I move to the next section. It's your time. Now find false in this. It's easy to find false in others, isn't it? I see a lot of things. Can someone just mention me few things that they have done that they shouldn't have done?
Equations.
Abbreviations, very good. Now, who knows what? Now I know what is MLR because it's in my subject area, right? But will everybody know? No. That's why you should not use abbreviations, right? You should not use abbreviations like SNN. You say SNN and inside brackets you write shallow neural network, and then again you use SNN at other times. No. Abstract, you don't do it. In the research paper, yes, the first instant that you use SNN in the research paper, you should say what is SNN. You should say what is MLR at the first instant you are using. And after the first instant, you can use the abbreviations. That's fine. But you don't write these abbreviations in an abstract. Very good. Okay. Right. So like that, you can find different maybe things that they have missed. Right. I'm not saying that they have done a big mistake in here because it's already published. It's a peer-reviewed journal, but you're not supposed to do it. You're not supposed to do it because in an abstract, now I have told you all, you can't do it. Okay. Right. Let's move to the next section. What to remember before submitting your abstract. Imagine you have written the abstract properly. A clear abstract is written. Now you're going to submit. Please don't submit without proofreading. So who's going to do the proofreading? You have lots of friends, don't you? You have lots of peers. You can ask one of them to read for you, isn't it? Have your supervisor read your abstract, please. Right? You can ask your supervisor to read your abstract and give comments for you. Don't use jargon, unnecessary words, unnecessary things. Avoid needless words. Don't waste your words. Only 350 words is there. Don't use needless words. Right? Everything must be cut down at short, make it short, make it short. You know, don't forget the 4 C's. What are the 4 C's? Clear, concise, right? So don't forget those things. Complete, concise, clear, and cohesive. You have to remember those things, right? Check your spellings. Check your grammar. Not to use abbreviations without introducing them at the first occurrence. Not to include images. Why is that? Not to include images. I can remember one student asked, I want to explain a lot of things, so shall I put the image without explaining them? No, you have to put the images, right? And I think now some of you all may be thinking, okay, so why these abbreviations without introducing them at the first occurrence? Shall we visit this one again? Okay, so we are saying, I think in this case, they have done the abbreviations first, right? For DNN. Yeah, so they have done for DNN, SNN, MLR. Right. So then after that, they are using it. That's fine. Without writing them, you can't. Right. So, but then there is this RMSC, right? Root mean squared error. Obviously, the ones who are using, they know, right? Others might not know. So that's why you need to introduce this as well, right? I think I made a mistake here. They have explained DNN, MLR, and SNN before, right? So that's fine. Okay. Then, for FETSAC 2026, I think I need to correct this. This should be 350 words. This should be 350 words, not 300 words. One paragraph. Don't write multiple paragraphs, just one paragraph. No abbreviations without giving the expanded abbreviation first. No references, no citations, no footnotes in the abstract. My advice for y'all is always, as a practice, students, after you write your abstract or a research paper, always get the feedback from your supervisor, right? Your supervisor knows about your project well enough to advise you, all right? So please show your abstract to your supervisors, and then you can submit for this FETSAC. So students, now I have taken references from these links. You also can go and visit these links and learn from them. Okay, so I hope that you got some idea about how to write an abstract. I mean, that was our purpose of this workshop. So I wish you all the best for your abstract writing, and I hope if you are interested in writing more, like writing research papers, there are a lot of help out there, and there will be help also. We are, I mean, we are here to help you all, right? Your supervisors can help you all, and we as academics are there to help you all in continuing your research work. So, students, my advice for you all is don't stop your work here from FETSAC. Write research papers, write abstracts and submit. But remember, now you may know or you may not know, but I will just mention one thing. If you submit your FETSAC abstract, if you submit your research abstract to FETSAC, don't submit it again to another place, because that's not ethically correct, right? So a research paper or a research abstract should be submitted only to one place. Now, saying that, that doesn't mean that if you submit your abstract here, it won't stop there, right? If you want, you can, from this abstract, take this abstract, write a full paper out of it, change the abstract, change the title a little bit, and then you can submit to a different research conference or a journal. So that you need to remember. But do not use the same wording, same abstract, don't put it in that, because it's wrong then. Because what actually should happen is, now if you write an abstract, you are talking about something, same thing you can't publish in another place now. One thing you have written, the same thing you can't publish it anywhere else. That's ethically wrong in research. So you have to do some modifications in your results or the way that you analyze. And so because you changed it, you can write a new abstract, a new research paper with a new title, and then submit to another conference or an abstract, I mean, just a place where they accept abstracts, or abstract, obviously you can't submit the same thing to another place. You have to change. Even if you are taking it for a full paper, still you need to change the abstract and the title a little bit, and then you can submit. So wish you all the best for your abstract writing and also for your research writing. Thank you, students, for attending this session. I'm handing over the control to the organizing committee.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
You're welcome.
Now it's time for our Q&A session. If you have any question, can you ask now? Have you any questions?
Students, if you have got any questions, you can raise them.
Excuse me, uh, can I know the deadline for abstract submission? Is it 31st of March or 30th of April?
It's 30th of April.
Because
Yeah.
we are at the deadline, the presently the document showing that the 30th, 31st of March, but however we are going to extend it up to 30th of April.
Okay, thank you, madam. Thank
However, don't wait till the last moment. Please work with your supervisor and start to make submission, right? It's already open now for you.
Actually,
Okay,
students, you should write it and submit you have to show your abstract to your supervisor and get some feedback. So write it and then don't give it to your supervisor on 29th April. Okay? Don't do it. Right? I'm warning my students also. Not 29th. You should give it to your supervisor well ahead so that he or she can and give you some comments. Right? Okay, students. Then you can, because if there are any corrections to be done, then you can do them and then submit. Okay?
Guys, have you any questions? Okay, I have to have a few important announcements. First off, abstract submission deadline has been extended to April 30. Second one, to submission your abstract, first of all, you need to submit your abstract your supervisor, do modification with your supervisor, and finally submit your editing complete abstract to FETSAC 2026. Please use this great opportunity as participate in FETSAC, given your 2 extra marks for your final year project. ඔයාලට මේකෙන් ෆයිනල් ඉයර් ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකට එක්ස්ට්‍රා මාක්ස් දෙකක් ගැනීමට මේ පුළුවන්. ඒක හින්දා ඔයාලට මේ ඇටෙන්ෂන් එකක් දෙන්න. ඒ වගේම අපේ ඇකඩමික් මෙම්බර් පැනල් එකේ ඉන්න මැඩම්ලා සර්ලා ඔයාලට ගොඩක් සපෝට් කරන්න බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා. ඒකින්ද ඒකෙන් ඒක ඔයාලට ලොකු ඔපචුනිටි එකක්. හැමෝටම ආරාධනා කරනවා මේකට ඇවිල්ලා මේ අවස්ථාව ප්‍රින් ප්‍රයෝජන ගන්න කියලා. ඒ වගේම මොනවා හරි ඔයාලට මේ ඉවෙන්ට් එක පිළිබඳව ගැටලුවක් තියෙනවා නම් අපිව කන්ටැක්ට් කරගන්න කන්ටැක්ට් ඩීටේල්ස් දැන් අපි චැට් බොක්ස් එකට දාන්නම්. ඒ වගේම අපේ WhatsApp group එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක හරහාත් අපි ඔයාලට අපිත් එක්ක සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ ඩීටේල්ස් අපි දැන් chat box එකට දාන්නම්. WhatsApp group එකට ඒ හරහා ඔයාලට join වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම වෙබ් එකේ දැනට කරලා තියෙන workshop වල recording දාලා තියෙනවා. දාන්න ඉන්නවා. දාලා තියෙනවා. ඔයාලා පොඩක් ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න ඒක. ඒ හරහා ඔයාලට මේ දැන් දක්වා මිස් වුණ workshop වල workshop ඔයාලට බලන්න පුළුවන්. ඒවා බලලා ඒවා බලලා ඔයාලට final FETSAC event එකට ලොකු වැඩක් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒවයි සම්පූර්ණම recordings දාලා තියෙනවා. මේ opportunity එකෙන් ප්‍රයෝජනයක් ගන්න කියලා මම ආදරෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා. ඔයාලට තව මොනවාද ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් දැන් අපෙන් අහන්න පුළුවන්. අපේ academic member panel එකේ ඉන්නවා, student member panel එකේ ඉන්නවා. මොනවාරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් දැන් ඔයාලට අහන්න පුළුවන්. FETSAC event එක සම්බන්ධ දේවල්. මම ඩොක්ටර් දිල්නි මැඩම්ට දෙනවා. දිල්නි
Okay.
මැඩම් සම්බන්ධ
Yeah,
දේවල්.
we can conclude and finish this event because now we have to emphasize that this is the good opportunity for you. That student academic forum එක නේද ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ event එකක් මේක. ඒ නිසා හැමෝම Tamanට පුළුවන් උපරිමයෙන් මේකත් එක්ක එකතු වෙන්න final year students ලා මේ පාර group activities වලටත් මේක open කරලා තියෙන්නේ. group activities වලට ගිය අවුරුදු වල ළමයි සම්බන්ධලා තිබුණේ. මේ පාර group activities group projects කරපු අයටත් abstract එක දාන්න පුළුවන්. abstract දැම්මහම ඕගොල්ලන් supervisor හරහා edit කරපු abstract එක දාන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට ඒකේ අපි නැවත edition එකක් යන්නේ නැහැ. නැවත ඕගොල්ලෝ කපලා අයින් කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඕගොල්ලෝ දාන හැමෝම මේ physically present කරන්න select කරගන්නවා. ඒ වගේම physically present කරන ඕගොල්ලෝ හැමෝටම සහතිකයක් ලැබෙනවා. ඒ වගේම හොඳම best presenter එකට compete කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට එදා දවසට සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයගලන්ට පොත්පත්ේ අවශ්‍ය හැම දෙයක්ම ඒ ඉවෙන්ට් එකට එකතු වෙනවාම ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා මේක ඒ වගේම ඔයගලන්ට මේක physically present කරන හැමෝටම ඩිපාර්ට්මන්ට් වලින් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන ඔයගොල්ලෝ ෆයිනල් ඉයර් ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකට ලකුණු දෙකක් වැඩිපුර එකතු කරන්න. අපි හිතමුකෝ ඔයගොල්ලන් ලකුණු තිබුණේ 63යි කියලා. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන් මේ FETSAC එක ප්‍රසන්ට් කරාම තව ලකුණු දෙකක් ලැබුණාම 65ක් දක්වා වැඩි කරගෙන ඔයගොල්ලන්ට හොඳ ග්‍රේඩ් එකක් නේද? ග්‍රේඩ් එක වැඩි කරගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ ඔපචුනිටිස් මේක හරහා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මේක ළමයි අතර පොපියුලර් කරලා පුළුවන් තරම් දිනක මේකට එකතු කරගන්න. මේ සැරේ ඉඳන් තමයි ලකුණු දීමේ හැකියාව ලැබිලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා හැමෝටම මේකට එකතු වෙන්න කියලා අපි ආරාධනා කරනවා. Okay. Then thank you for all of you who are joining with the presentation today, and also our resource person, Dr. Lukshima Dabare. She is really interestingly done this activity. So our student panel, FETSAC student panel also here. So I am going to thank all of you, and also we are going to have another workshops as well before your final event. That means final event is going to happen 18th June 2026. 18th June. So till that we are going to have another few workshops. So you can engage with us. However, your deadline for submission abstract is going to finish 30th of April. So after that, we are not going to collect the abstract. Those who willing to engage with the event, you have to submit your abstract before that day, right? Thank you all of you. So have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.